Welcome to the Party Poker World Open 6 here at the Palm Beach Casino in London, where 48 of the biggest names in poker have all come, all hoping to be crowned champion. This year, 6 heats will play out. The winner goes straight through to the final, and the runner-up gets a second chance in the playoffs. And of course, they all want to take home the lion's share of nearly $500,000 in prize money. Tonight, a new heat starts, but before we introduce you to that lineup, let's have a look at what happened in the opening heat.
I just want to show Dale that even though he hurt me, I still love him.
There's a lot of love in this one.
I can take the pain. I've been gambling long enough that I like the pain in a sick way, you know?
I can never be stylish as you when I put the chips in.
I knew you were going to.
Not too bad.
You're such a sick man.
Dubai, easy game, easy game.
How'd you like the apple pie?
What do you want to see on the flop? That's what I want to know.
Diamonds!
Please come diamonds.
Come on, let this come home for Philly boy!
Yes!
Oh. Okay, that's it.
John, you never used to be a lobster, though, did you? You're the only crazy loon here that puts 30K in or 60K in without a hand. That's the fun part, though.
Oh, that hurts. Okay, I'm gonna rebuy. Marty, give me some chips.
Take the 5 of diamonds, and it's one swap. Come on. Oh, cool. Cheers, pal.
In seat number 1, a face I'm sure most of you will know, one of the most famous players in the game today, it's Tom Dwan. In seat number 2, Dragan Cantu with 2 World Series of Poker bracelets and a WPT championship. In seat number 3, Andrew Good2CU Robl, a high-stakes cash specialist. In seat number 4, it's Dragan Galic. In 2009, he was the German Poker Player of the Year and an EPT final tableist. And next up is Brazilian pro poker player Felipe Ramos, a PLO specialist and also World Series of Poker final tableist. In our next seat, it's Josh Gould, son of professional poker player Peter Gould, but now a fearsome cash player in his own right. Next up is Roland Dewolfe, a very familiar face here, and a Triple Crown winner, a World Series of Poker bracelet, a WPT title, and an EPT title, and a heck of a sense of humor. And in our final seat here, it's James Mitchell, the 2010 Irish Open champion. It should be a very interesting table indeed with all of these characters. Good luck, everyone. Let's get the cards in the air.
This heat of the World Open is off and rolling. Thrilled to be joined by Poker Hall of Famer Mike Sexton. Mike, we're in for a treat. Look at this table.
Well, we really are. So much talent at this table. This is going to be a lot of fun watching these guys play.
Raised to 4,000 total.
Dragan Galic getting things started with the raise to 4,000. Deep stack, as we know in this World Open. And Galic is a guy who's on a bit of a tournament roll lately, deep in the main event of the World Series. First-handed, Josh Gould ain't wasting no time to stick his mark on the table.
300,000 to start with.
He's made it 16,000, and Dewolfe's got ace-king.
Gould is re-raised with an 8-6 of diamonds. You talk about some action. The original raiser up front with a king-10 offsuit. A re-raise by an 8-6, and now Roland Dewolfe looks down at an ace-king.
Now, these are guys who know each other well. Roland Dewolfe, Josh Gould, and Tom Dwan, all at this table, played in the same World Open heat last year. And Dewolfe knows Josh Gould fairly well. Sometimes they run around together. So Dewolfe not apparently giving Josh Gould the kind of respect that some others might, re-raising the first hand.
Well, that makes it 55,000 to go. Dragan laughing a little bit here. Said, "What's going on?"
I mean, don't get me wrong, Mike. Ace-King's a good hand, but to the 2-bet and the 3-bet, some guys would think twice.
So from wait, so
is Wolfe getting up from the table? Where did he leave that no-boo menu? Play will go on without him. His cards will be taken while he's absent. James Mitchell's on the button this hand, 7-handed.
So afraid of you.
Wow.
I am.
Suited connectors, not enough for Andrew.
Josh Gould going to raise it up here with an ace-10.
Yeah,
Makes it 6,000 to go.
Absurd.
Cool.
Gould's one of those guys. He is going to make action. And
well, when Tom Dwan's in the pot, you're going to have to fight for the pot, believe me.
Cool.
Really?
Brandon Cantu, 3-7 offsuit, and he's called 4,000.
Well,
feels like he's getting a price to make a call, but that a little peculiar.
Like what, like 1,000 US or something?
The flop has come 9-5-4. So Brandon has flopped a gut shot straight draw.
Check.
Dwan has nothing, of course. He checks. They've checked it around to Gould. Will he make the continuation bet? He does not. He checks also. And an ace comes right off on the turn. This gives Dwan the nut flush draw. Gould with the 2 aces.
And now Cantu's got 2 ways to make it straight. Everybody got help.
Well, Dwan gonna lead right out in bed here.
Well, Cantu's problem is there's 2 flush draws out there, Mike. He might only feel like he's got 4 cards to hit, not 6 or 8.
Well, it's 14,000 to call here.
Amazing if he did, because Gould's sitting behind with the pair of aces.
39,000.
He's just going to raise it up to 39,000.
Josh Gould thought he loved that ace on the turn. Now he's got something else to deal with. This is hard to figure out.
I'll tell you, it's tough to call here in this spot with an ace-10. And he does lay down the ace-10. And let's see what Dwan's going to do with the king-7 of spade. What he's going to do is make the call.
I mean, this game is only a couple hands old. This Brandon Cantu is something special. Who else do you know who could take the 3-7 offsuit and be in such a strong position to take the pot?
Well,
what a raise.
Well, now a 10 comes off. Josh Gould biting his tongue right now because he threw away an ace-10.
Check.
Incredibly.
Well,
Tom Dwan's good with the king high, but Cantu cannot check now, Mike.
Check.
Yes!
unbelievable. He checked with a 7 high. Dwan gonna win this pot with a king high.
Good lay down, Josh. Excellent lay down.
And Andrew Robl, he didn't see the cards, and he is telling Josh Gould, nice lay down. He knows exactly what happened. Gould looks like he's been hit by a freight train.
British poker has been going great guns, and one of the young guns, and someone that's sort of out there to look out for, is Josh Gould. How does it feel? Is there a little bit of pressure on that?
Not too much. I just like to turn up and play and see what happens. But we seem to know everyone here, like same regular faces: Roland, James Mitchell, Andrew Robl, Durr. Played with them all like quite a few times before, so you know, it's something to look forward to. Hopefully do well.
Welcome back to the World Open 6 here at the Palm Beach Casino in London. We're still 8-handed, so let's get back to the table.
I know Josh Gould a little bit. I'll tell you, he's one of those guys, this is what he loves, you know. Guys, this is how you get better. You get in there against the best and challenge yourself. And I'll tell you what, he's picked quite a heat here, as everyone has. This is stupendous.
Well, Tom Dwan plays a fair amount with Doyle Brunson, so why not raise with the Doyle Brunson hand? 6,000 to go. Cantu's got the 2 snowmen, he's got the 2 8s, and he just calls.
Every single pot Dwan has been in, Cantu can do. He's in too.
Dwan has yet to have much of a hand, yet he's out in front here.
For Felipe Ramos now, Mike, 2 deuces is the kind of hand you want to peel a flop off with. On the other hand, his image,
I'm almost ready for
such that
I'm very close.
they'll think he's got something.
Well, it's come Jack, Jack 7. So a pretty good flop for the 2 8s of Brandon Cantu. Well, it's gone check, check over to Brandon. And he is going to make a wager. Now, Philippe's got a little problem here. He just wondered if a guy's stealing the pot, but he gives him credit for having the deuces beat, and indeed he does. So he gives it up, but Dwan hates to give up anything.
For Tom Dwan, checking only means it's an invitation to let the pot go on longer. Look at this. Here we go.
Dwan is going to raise it here with a 10 deuce, folks. That's all he's got.
Pressure. Brandon Cantu. Now, what do you do?
Well, you're a little fearful he might have 3 jacks or an overpair, but because it's Tom Dwan, it's hard to get away from 2 8s with a jack-jack 7 flop.
Well, you can say that, Mike, but this pot already now getting to that size where if Durr bets the turn, if Durr bets the river, we're talking stacks in here.
Well, if big cards come up, you might be right. But if that card comes up, I don't think Cantu's getting away from this hand.
Check.
Well, again, Dwan's checking. When he raised it and got called, he knows Cantu's got something, but he's scared Cantu. The only high drama here is the 10 would come off. It doesn't happen. The 3 comes off. Well, Dwan's got to know the only way he can win the pot is to bet, but he knows also he's going to get called if he does bet. He's going to check it and just wave the white flag here and let Cantu take this one. Cantu gave him 1 pot. He's going to give Cantu 1 back here, but wisely so.
Brandon's got a lot of confidence here. He says, okay, now that I think I'm ahead, let's get a little value out of Durr.
Well, that's Durr's forte. He tests you every time when you play a pot with him.
Like right after I made the bets, I was walking through the Rio.
I think Tom Dwan's talking about the bracelet bets that he made at the World Series of Poker this year. They made all the news. Everybody was talking about them, Mike, and it involved a proposition a bet about whether or not he would win a World Series of Poker bracelet this year. And
well, I was playing in a $10,000 event at the next table over from the final pit in there when he was playing heads up for the title. And believe me, every high stakes play in there was sweating every hand. They were all running up, what happened, what happened, what happened. He ended up finishing second, and a big sigh went out in the tournament I was playing in because all those high stakes players saved millions because he didn't win that tournament.
Galic has raised this pot up, gotten called by Ramos and Gould behind.
10,000.
So remember when we were talking?
Galic has the bottom pair of 2 5s. Gould now has the 4-3 of clubs. Has a straight draw here.
Call.
And he's a gambler. He's made the call here.
I kind of thought there was no way he was folding, Mike. You know, you play the 3-4 suited, you flop a gut straight draw, you're going.
15,000.
Well, Dragan gonna bet 15,000 here.
But his hand's vulnerable, isn't it, Mike?
Very.
Call.
But the kid's called again.
I think he's calling here to make a play on the river, Mike.
And I agree with you, and he might be able to with that card coming off. As Dragan checks, if he had an 8-9, that would give him a straight.
It's acceptable.
Obviously, the only way he can win the pot is to bet at it. We said that about Cantu earlier at this final table, but he didn't bet at it. Gould is going to.
Well, I think Gould has done a good job of selling the fact that he could have a 10 here. He called on the flop. The 10 paired on the turn. He called again. And Dragan Galic called 47,000.
Well, he's going to win it. He put him on the straight draw, just hoped he had the 6-8 instead of the 8-9. Instead he had the 3-4.
Dragan is nobody's fool, Mike. He didn't even waste much time with that. He didn't believe Gould. He hasn't been playing here long, but he recognized that Josh Gould needs to be looked up.
Wait, where did you see that?
Well, all good friends, but it's dog eat dog on the green felt here.
It sure is.
You know, like,
And Tom's trying to get Andrew a little rattled.
Pass.
Well, James Mitchell's picked up 2 aces here.
Raised 5,000 total.
Makes it 5,000 in total. And he is hoping to get some action here. Well, Brandon Cantu, we've seen as an action player. He's going to raise it with a queen-8 of clubs here, up to 17,000. And he is not going to like it.
It's also
Mike, I mean, we can see what a bad idea this re-raise was from Cantu. But, I mean, even these guys at the table, it did not look like Mitchell had been getting out of line, and he's raised from early position.
Well, Felipe had 2 6s. He jettisons, however, after raising a re-raise.
And I think, yeah, that's exactly what I think. I sense that Mitchell is going to try and hang Cantu. This is a really strong play, just calling with the aces. It's so deceptive, Mike.
Well, it's a little dangerous, but on the other hand, you got to know the opponent that you're up against. He's going to walk the dog, as we say. He's going to check on the flop. I don't care what comes out there, to give his opponent a chance to hang himself. This is a good flop for 2 aces. Nothing real scary out there. He's checked. Cantu going for the continuation bet.
If somebody's got aces beat on that flop, they can just have your chips, right? Jack, deuce, 4, rainbow.
Now it's going to be interesting to see if Mitchell just calls here and continues to throw him rope. Chances are he won't. Looks like it's time to raise it now.
He has just called, Mike.
Well, he has just called. So that should set a few alarm bells off for Cantu. Let's see if it does. Now a 5 comes off.
I think Mitchell is a whole lot more dangerous than Cantu's giving him credit for.
Well, Mitchell has checked again. Well, Cantu not going for any more money just yet.
He's drawing dead. He's actually drawing dead.
Well, better hope a queen or an 8 doesn't come off of there. It doesn't, as the board pairs 5s. Now, if you're Mitchell, you know he's virtually got nothing. He would have bet a jack or another pair had he had one there on the turn. He didn't. The only reason you want to bet out here is you don't want to show everybody that you had 2 aces, and this is how you played them. But in truth, the best chance for you to get money here is to check and hope Cantu fires another shell. But that's not going to happen. He bets, Cantu goes out. Well, he showed one guy. He's going to have to show them all.
How much did he bet?
Big smile from Roland Dewolfe.
Well, everybody laughing now, but in truth, he got maximum money out of that.
Yeah.
First level has seen some fun and a great start for Dragan Galic, although the difference between the top stack and the bottom stack now, not much. Double up, even by Josh Gould, who's had a rocky beginning, would bring him back to the top.
I think this Mitchell looks like Poindexter and plays like Wild Bill Hickok.
Well, Wild Bill got shot in the back.
Uh-oh.
Let's see if that happens to James Mitchell here. It could have happened, slow playing the aces.
Blinds are up now, Mike. Second level, 2 and 4,000.
Had that last flop come queen 8 deuce, we'd have been saying, how could he play aces that bad? As he goes broke walking out the door, because you're never getting away from him. Well, Dwan is making it 8,000. Blinds are now 2 and 4,000.
Yeah, the blinds have just gone up the first hand of the second level. And Galic, he's not scared to define his hand here, if that's the play.
I don't think he's going to call Dwan. I think he's coming over the top of him. Dwan, not the kind of guy you want to let see flops. 22,000 by Dragan. Dwan, not the kind of guy to lay down hands before the flop. Doesn't like to lay them down after the flop either, for that matter. Going to cost him another 14,000 to make the call. 36,000 in the pot, and he does call.
Seems like a fair bet, he says.
A lot of guys would throw that hand away right there, but not Dwan, not Ivy.
And one of the reasons that Dwan is able here, he's hit. He has absolutely hit.
Well, Dwan has flopped bottom pair here. You're still not excited about it, but at least you got something. Just in case your opponent's got ace, king, or ace, queen, ace, jack suited, like he does have. Well, Dragan's made the continuation bet. But we might see a little maneuvering here by Dwan now.
The reason you don't call with the ace-4 suited to the re-raise, Mike, is because you don't want to put yourself in these tricky spots. But Dwan, not only does he love these tricky spots, he just makes the right decision so often. He doesn't care how tricky it gets. He feels like he's going to outplay his opponent.
Well, Dragan bet 30,000. Dwan called. Dwan is checked here. Now you'd think that'd be a scare card for Dragan right there. But he is betting again. You talk about some heart. Is that a scary board to bet into, especially when you get called on the flop? Just incredible right there. But see, Dwan's not going to believe he's got an 8 or a 3 in his hand because the guy raised before the flop. He might have a pair of 8s. That's about it.
Right, that's the only thing he can have here, Mike. I mean, what hand could Galic have put a 3-bet in that board hits?
See, Dwan's smart enough to know that if he had an overpair in that situation, he's going to check on 4th Street there in fear of the straight. That's how good Tom Dwan is. Now he's checked 3 4s. He's going to win the pot with 3 4s.
Yeah, but Mike, that 3rd 4 came on the river. Dwan was happy enough with just 2 of them for a 200K pot.
Jesse, it just shows you how great of a mind Tom Dwan has at poker.
I've mainly been playing cash, both online and live. I've played some tourneys and not done too terrible, I guess, but mainly I've been playing cash, both online and live, and done pretty well the last few years. I've had some really big winning days. I've had a few 7-figure days on both ends, up and down. I also had some pretty big side bets this year, which were also some pretty large swings. And I was really close to it being a big swing up, but I got second in one tournament when I had a bunch of bracelet bets. So there was definitely a decent amount of pressure during the series. Not as much to play as just to make sure I was there every day on time, playing most of the hands for the tourneys. But that was the main pressure source, was just like I had to wake up every day, couldn't miss any of the tournaments. And that sucked a little bit, but it was still a fun experience, and I'm going to do it again next year. I don't really try to have a different poker persona to how I really am, but I think I end up kind of having it only because of the questions that are asked and stuff like that. And there's not much in my life that I try to keep like secret or whatever, but the few things that I don't answer are the things that get asked all the time, like who did you win your biggest pot off of and stuff like that, which obviously I never answer. So I think people might think the personas are different, but they aren't.
Welcome back to the Palm Beach Casino for the World Open. Joined by Mike Sexton. And Robl's having fun, isn't he? Not exactly sure what Dragan's up to. Maybe his brain said one thing and his hand said something else. James Mitchell's talking about his weight bet. He's lost 2 stone and made a whole bundle of money. A little like Jack Osborne, isn't he? Dewolfe's raised this up, called by Dwan on the button.
Roland Dewolfe coming in for 11,000 with the ace deuce of clubs. Dwan has got 2 7s here. He's just called.
33.
And Brandon has raised the pot, making it 33,000 to go with 2 queens.
Well, Mike, it's such a perfect spot for Cantu to pick up the 2 queens. With all the action he's given so far, it's kind of all set up this play. They'd be suspecting him to make a squeeze with a lot of hands right now, but he's got the goods.
Roland thought about going, but I don't see Dwan going anywhere with the 2 7s. He's got the walking sticks. He likes to see flops.
Cool.
And he's going to make the call. So it's 2 queens versus 2 7s here.
Dwan is in position, and he's given Cantu a hard look there. What does he see?
He sees a nightmare flop. It's come king, queen, 8. The flop just might save Dwan, however. Cantu is loving it, licking his chops right now. He's going to fire out with the trips.
37.
And he's going to hope Dwan has got a big hand, like king jack suited or ace king. or something like that.
Salad and fish or salad.
Oh my gosh, look at this.
Well, when Dwan looks good, he looks great. When it goes wrong, it gets ugly. What is happening here?
Well, Dwan has made the call. Now the 9 of spade comes off. That a bit of a scare card for Cantu. Dwan does have a spade in his hand. He now has a flush draw. He could actually win this pot.
There's 150,000 in the pot. Cantu only has 200 back.
Well, not fooling around. Not going to give Dwan the card to draw to. He moves all in. And I don't see how Dwan can possibly call this with 2 sevens.
I guess part of the range he's putting Cantu on is the complete no-go, the complete air ball, the deuce 5, the 3-6. I mean, just the absolute zeros. But boy, if that's what Cantu has, he's played it aggressively.
Well, I think the most likely hand he puts him on is the ace-jack or the ace-10 with the spade in his hand. Probably the ace of spade. He is going to give it up. But he put a lot of money in there with those 2 sevens, especially after that flop.
Have a look at the chip counts there. James Mitchell, he hasn't played many pots, but he's played them aggressive and won them. He's on the lead.
Techniques as well that I didn't have to use because I'd already lost the weight a few days before the weigh-in.
Well, Dwan has picked up a pair here. And the beauty of being an aggressive loose player is you get action when you get a big hand. Let's see if that occurs here.
Well, I think everybody at the table would agree that that's not fair. Durr's not allowed to get big hands.
I've lost 700K to you know? I don't know if I can take any more pain.
Well, Andrew Robl's hair is liable to stand up a little straighter here if he comes over the top with this ace-queen. Durr's raised it, just the guy you want to raise it when you pick up ace-queen. You figure he doesn't have that good a hand.
We're going to get to see quite a bit of Andrew Robl's abilities here because he's going to have a chance to get really stuck in.
Well, he has raised it up to 36,000. That is most likely not going to bode well for him.
I mean, Mike, I think Robl is going to be put to the test here. There's a lot of reasons right now for Dwan to stick another raise in, isn't there?
Well, there sure is, because he's always raising it. A lot of times he has nothing.
You saw what happened to Brandon when he didn't listen.
Oh, well, that talking is definitely going to get him raised. Robl over there cocky as can be. You're going to see Dwan, who takes his time when he has very marginal decisions. Now he's taking his time when he has a big duke. He works at the same speed, big hand or little hand. And the smile you saw on Robl's face is about to be erased here very shortly. No doubt in my mind, Dwan's going to raise this pot, especially after that crack Robl just made at him. He said, "You saw what happened to Cantu when he raised me, didn't you?" Well, there it is.
Oh no. I asked you very nicely to fold. You must be extremely qualified. How many chips do you have left?
It's 47,000 more for Robl to call. Now he wants to know how many chips Dwan has got. Debating whether he should ship all his chips in the pot now or not.
It is a big question. Robl's problem right now is he doesn't really know. It's not like Dwan couldn't have nothing, Mike, but he doesn't.
Yeah, Robl with a tough decision here.
I'm terrified. Terrified. I don't know what I'm gonna do. You have a good hand?
Yeah, Robl talking to him, but Dwan not answering him.
Dwan does not talk during hands. Or at least I've never seen him do it.
Okay, I'm going to.
Well, Robl needs to call a friend. He's going to have a stiff drink here first before he decides what to do.
My courage has been gathered, and now I am all in.
Well, he's going all in, and he's quickly called.
That is bad for me.
He's going to be heading for the bar for some more drinks, unless he gets lucky here to spike an ace. We saw Dragan fold an ace.
Well, there's still 5 cards to come, Mike, but Dwan ate him up for dinner right there.
Well, there's a chance Dwan might have just called and not re-raised before the flop until Robl made that crack. Well, you saw what happened to him when I re-raised it and he played it. Like I chewed him up. Not going to happen to Dwan. And an ace comes out there. Unbelievable. It's an ace and a queen. That is incredible.
Well, I cannot outplay you, but occasionally I can maybe outflop you.
That is unbelievable. How did you do that? But Andrew Robl, unless the king comes on the river, he made a full house. He caught every ace.
Well, he caught the absolute nuts. Aces full of queen. There were only 2 aces left. Both of them came out there. Really tough luck for Tom Dwan there. Played the hand to perfection. Had way the best of it. Got extremely unlucky to lose it.
Robl stuck his head in the lawnmower, came up looking like AstroTurf, well groomed.
But you always hate to see Tom Dwan leave a table. He is fun to watch. And right now, it doesn't look like we're going to be watching him much longer.
And Andrew Robl, the new chip leader, 660,000. That's poker. That's how you get him.
The poker god smiling on Andrew Robl there.
I was actually watching the World Series of Poker on TV with my dad when I was 16, and I was like, wow, it's so cool these guys play poker for a living. I went to college, I never really knew what I wanted to do, and I started playing poker online. And the amount of money I was making playing poker online was like real money. It was more money than I'd make with a college degree. And where I'm from, like I'm from Michigan, there's no such thing as a professional poker player in Michigan. But some of the guys I talked to online, guys like Tom Dwan, like I started playing the same games with them and talked to them on AOL. And then one weekend, they were all getting together in Vegas. So I went down there, I met all of them. And like, and these kids were my age, you know, they were 19, 20 years old, and they were like traveling the world, making all this money, living like rock stars playing poker. And I was like, wow, I could do this. So went back home, dropped all of my classes, and I've been playing poker full time ever since. I don't know a lot of the players playing at the table today. There's a lot of Europeans, and I don't have as much experience playing with them. Tom Dwan is a good friend of mine. I think he's the guy I've lost the most money to online in my life. There's a website where you can check your wins and losses. I think I'm down like 700,000 to him lifetime, so hopefully I can get a little bit of revenge today. Don't want to play too many pots with Tom, but at the same time he makes that hard because he's in there here playing any 2 cards. So when he's in a pot, I'm going to be playing very aggressively. If I have a good hand, I'm going to be re-raising him, and I'm just going to put a lot of pressure on him and make him make decisions with his weak holdings.
Yeah, it's going to be enough time to
Tom's stack
shoot
is so
up.
short that, I don't know, you feel like you could just kind of...
Well, at this moment, Dwan really a non-factor to these other players right now. Even if you play a pot and lose it with him, you don't lose many chips. So until he doubles up 2 or 3 times, which he might do right here, chances are
he's limped in here.
Well, I'm surprised by that
Good
play.
motivation for me.
Cantu going to limp in with him. Nobody going to understand why he's just limping here.
I won't speculate to your holdings since there's a multi-way pot.
Andrew Robl with the 9-10 of spade is going to call also. Now what Dwan's going to have to do is beat a multi-way pot here.
Suck out on the best hand. That's my plan.
It's 5-way action. It's a puzzling move by Dwan to me. And now he's gotten beat on the flop here. Robl's flopped the flush draw. Cantu's flopped 2 aces. Dwan is going to hit the road here.
He's gotten beat by everybody here. It didn't matter. I get the feeling it's going to come 5-8. Even Galic is going to end up.
Well, the only chance these guys, if Robl leads out and bets and he moves in where you shut the aces out, and then you're up against just a flush draw. And Robl has bet here. 10,000. I was Dwan, I'd just move all in. You might shut out the 2 aces.
Call.
And he's just called here.
Look!
And Cantu is throwing the aces away.
Dwan's
unbelievable.
He's gone favorite here.
Well, he's got a chance to win this pot if a spade doesn't come off. Only way he could possibly win this pot, I believe, is for that scenario. Robl had to lead out, and now Robl's got an open-end straight draw with the flush draw.
24 exactly, he says. Oh, I have so many outs on the turn now.
All in.
So many outs. I knew it! I knew you were trapping! Well, I had to still get it in. I turned too many outs.
And the 6 of clubs comes off, and by some miracle, Dwan has won this pot with 2 kings. Had he moved in before the flop, chances are Brandon would have called him with ace high. Brandon laid down 2 aces on the flop, and it's new life for Dwan.
And he didn't even hesitate on the turn, calling off there with the ace on board, but, well, whatever. 84,000, I mean, he's back.
Join us after the break when this heat continues for the Party Poker World Open 6.
Welcome back. World Open 6 action. Chips have moved, even though we still have a full table of 8.
How the fuck did I sleep that? So sick.
But I think, Mike, you know, you put Roland Dewolfe, as you've seen in a multi-table tournament, and he will get very busy early. But he's played quite a lot of these, and I think
14,000
I'd hate to be compared to Neil Channing, but I think Roland actually has played enough of these to have a similar conviction to Neil that in the early levels, it doesn't pay to be too loose.
Well, you're exactly right about that, and Roland demonstrating that.
14,000. 15,000.
17. Pass.
All right, Dragons made the call here with the Jack 10 of hearts. Dwan out in front with the ace 10.
Dwan's gotten the better of Dragan round 1 and round 2.
And may get the better of him again here. Both have a pair of 10s. Dwan has him out kicked, but Dragan has a straight draw as well.
I thought about how low that was after you guys started going.
Dwan's out of position here. He's at the act first. He can go about this any way he wants.
Well,
I mean, he doesn't
he's not failed to make a continuation bet yet in this spot. He's going to make it here. Now you just wonder if Dragan would make a raise here. Could he win this pot and get Dwan to throw second pair away? When he doesn't raise here, that's going to be unlikely now to get Dwan off the 2 10s with the top kicker. A jack comes up. Dragan has made 2 pair and is now out in front.
Mike, I honestly think that is Dragan's best way to win this pot. Just make the best hand.
Well, there's a 4-card straight on the board as well. Also fearful of an ace-king by Dwan.
Check.
Now a 7 comes off. And there's virtually no hand that Dwan can beat right now. When a guy calls a bet on the flop, there's no hand you can beat here. He's got a 9, a jack, a queen. Got to have something. Dwan's just going to give it up. And wisely so.
I can't risk going bust because I got to get even. I need to hang around without playing.
Dragan finally got him a pot. Had to outdraw him to do it, though.
He did. But that was the best way to beat Tom Dwan in a pot, I think. Played about 2.5 levels. Still a full game.
Pass.
Now, I don't know, Mike. I feel like when you got the chip lead, more than twice as many as everybody else, I don't know. That's.
I couldn't go back to back.
I would have played that hand. Call me crazy. Jack 10 suited.
Well, I'd agree with you.
Raise.
Sure like to see flops with a Jack 10 of diamonds. If you got the chip lead. You like to see a flop of your short stack with it, but might not get
So
to.
what are we at, 3,500? And what's our bet?
Yeah,
1,500.
16 total.
I'd like to know why. I'm sure he must have had a very good reason for it. Played it.
The question is how far would he walk?
Cool.
Yeah.
Brandon Cantu doesn't need too much of a reason to play a hand from the big blind. He likes it.
He is a defender, folks. Make no mistake about it. He's got some money in that pot. He just doesn't give it up. And why not when you can flop the top pair out there?
All right, let's do.
Only card he could really flop as a pair to win it. And he's hit it. It's come 8-4-4. Cantu out in front now with the 2-8s.
Dominated pre-flop.
Well,
not now.
Gould going to make a continuation bet, but it's not going to work.
16,000.
Just a matter of Cantu calls him or raises him. I'm predicting a raise.
She would walk. She would walk.
Cool.
But I'm wrong. He just calls.
I think it might have to do with Gould's stack here.
So we should do how far would Mike you walk?
If Cantu had check raised, very easy for Gould to shove the lot in with all kinds of things.
Check.
Well, now a third 4 comes out.
I feel like she.
Cantu has checked again. Will Gould make another wager at this pot?
Oh.
$15 from 3K is still pretty reasonable.
There's no issue.
And if he does, should Cantu try and get all the money in now?
34,000.
Or is he worried
34.
if he raises that he's going to be just doubling Gould up?
Well,
I mean, Gould's double-barreled here. He's representing a pretty big hand.
well, he just called. Cantu a little fearful he might have tens or jacks in this situation. But he's called him anyway.
If Gould wants to have any chance of winning this pot, he has to put them all in on the river. And Mike, even then, I wouldn't be so confident he's going to push Cantu off. In fact, I don't think there's any chance.
Antonio.
Well, I'm not sure he's going to fire a third shell when the guy calls you on the turn here, but indeed he is. He is getting out chips here. And he is going to make a play for this pot. I think he's put Cantu on a small pair, going to try to get him off of it. Let's see if it works.
Like 200 miles.
75,000.
Well, 75,000 is the bet.
Oh, for 20?
It's a big bet. He's got heart,
like 4 days.
but
I swear to you he would.
No, I would agree with
I
Well,
mean,
Cantu has made the call with good instincts here. He is going to take it down. So by checking every street, he allowed Josh to hang himself, but still had to make the tough call on the river to win it.
and it was a tough call, but Gould right now feeling like he has dusted his stack off like a dirty countertop.
It's a pretty good one. It's just so funny.
Josh Gould primarily plays in a lot of the high-stakes sort of cash games around London and on the internet. And, of course, right now, be about the time he'd be asking for a rebuy.
How about changing tables?
Possibly.
Try anything.
Well, now he's got an ace-10. So he's got another hand he's got to get involved with.
Let's do that one.
Doesn't have to, but I would think he's going to raise with this hand.
All in.
And he's gone all in with it. Well, going to try not to get outplayed again, just moving all in with the ace-10.
First.
Like what kind of burn?
Well, it's folded around to Brandon Cantu, and he's got the ace-queen. No chance he's going out here.
Well, he's got Andrew Robl behind him. So there is a decision, Mike, call or try and isolate.
Oh, well, you make a good point there. He has made the call. I mean, he's not going out. Cantu has him dominated, ace-queen versus ace-10. Josh Gould going to have to get very lucky to stay alive in this tournament.
It has not been a great night for Josh Gould. Everything he's tried going wrong. I'm not even sure if he's praying for the 10.
Well, you're right. He's taking a left and a right and a left and a right, and now we can see the knockout right here. Well, the flop not good for him. It's come king 9-6. Well, a 7 of spade comes off. That does give him a straight draw as well. Cantu has a flush draw. Gould has to catch an 8 or a 10. That's not a spade, and he doesn't do it as the jack of diamonds comes off. So Josh Gould going to be our 8th place finisher here. As you said, Jesse, nothing going right for him tonight.
7 left now and 2 in charge. Robl, after his run-in with Tom Dwan, the big chip leader, and Brandon Cantu steadily on the climb. Couple short stacks in there. Tom Dwan most of all.
Join us next time at the Palm Beach Casino in London as Heat 2 continues, and we find out who takes a seat at the final table, who gets to battle it out in the runners-up heat, and who goes home with nothing here at the Party Poker World Open 6.
You definitely play this pot. Been having so much fun. I definitely would suggest you check fold.
If I flop this, I'm gonna cry.
You should just listen to me. I've been telling you the truth the whole day. I hope you play this hand, so I can teach all the Brazilian poker fans a lesson.
If you see my hand, you will see I played really good.
You call me with 10 high? How can you call? Punish him. I can't look. I can't look.